Good evening, friends. I hope you're all doing well. I'm also fine. My name is Golang, and I am a AWS certified DevOps engineer. So, I'm referring to my last video, which is available in YouTube channel. So, my last video, I have shown you how we can set up a simple web app with Golang. I just created a simple Docker file. I created some routes, and I just created a SRC folder. Think of it like kind of a like products module where I can just call a particular URL like products, and then I just show an echo or hi, hello, something like this. There is a very basic part. So if you have any interest on how to set up Golang, please watch my first video, the link in the description. Then if you go to my GitHub repository, you can see whatever I have did over there. So there is a main.go file where we are including the routing packages, and then I'm calling the routing setup routes. That particular file has all the detailed routing where which function it should call if we send to /products. So if we go to the details of the SRC folder, then go to routes and then open main.go, then you can see that we will listen to the products/products, and then I will call the products.get all products. So this was the first thing. It was basic and it helped us to get started. So today this is a kind of like part 2 of the video, and I'm going to add some more features over there. So a lot of things will be added. So if we go back to my VS Code editor, now we also have the same sort of file structure here. We have main.go where all of my application starting point or entry point is there, where we are first calling the routings, and then we are listening to all the requests from the port 8080 that we have defined here. Now I added one while.env, that is where I am going to store my database credentials. I'm going to add a database operations in this example. So all the database credentials like host name, port, username, password, database name, all those things are available in the .env. And then I created a migrations.go. I will discuss a bit later about how should we call that, but it's a kind of like you run this script to migrate all the tables or fields that is available in your file system to your database. I will discuss that later. Now, this stays same. We are keeping as it is. And then the Docker file, it's still all same. You can just check my GitHub repo, and then the Docker file is available here. There is nothing change is needed. You can just keep as it is. Let's go to the details. Details here, we have added a couple of more folders. One for the DB, one for the migrations, one for the models. The products was already there, but we added some more things, and one for the routes. Routes are also already there. So what is new? DB. So if you go to DB and click here, so what is the purpose of the DB? The DB package is, I used a singleton pattern to initiate or connect to the database and use that throughout the applications. That means this is the main package for database initializations. And if I call this function connect to DB, then it will, first time it will connect to the database and create a persistent connection to the database. The configurations are coming from the .env file, as we discussed. For that, we are using a package. It's called github.com/zoho, ZOHO, and then go.env. You can find in the GitHub repo search. And then we are using libpq for PostgreSQL, and we are also using GoRM. GoRM. It's a ORM package for Go, and this will help us to make database operations very easily, quickly. Okay, so database connection, this function is very simple. Only important thing is we are calling ons.do. That means this is ensuring that it's a singleton pattern, and once the variable is initialized, it's then will not be called again. Even though I call this function multiple places in my project multiple times, but it is still will be executed only once, and that connection will be returned many times. Okay, then first we are going to load the .env file, and then we are going to get the username, password, host name, port name, all those things. We are creating connection string, and then using GoRM, we are actually then connected to the database. And then we are storing the database ORM object in the DB field, and then that is we are returning. Okay, that's very simple, main.go, and we can reuse this in many other modules. Like we have products, but maybe we have customers, we have users, all those things. They will all call the same function, connect to DB, if they need to make some database operations. Okay, let's close this and then let's go back to our models. So here we are planning to put all our models into the models folder. There are two ways. You can either keep all the models in the models folder, or you can put the models inside the particular module like products. I choose the first approach where all the models are put inside the models folder, file-wise, like products. Then if I create a new model, like sorry, like it's a new model like customers, right? Then I package models. Then I'm not going to import. It's just copy this and customer ID. That's fine. Name, description, and we don't have price, but we can say address. And there is also a string. That's right. Okay. Similarly, in this process, I just created two like models, but we can create multiple models, customers, users, vendors, right? And then you have like HR module, employees, any module that you want, you can just create the separate file for that and use it. This is one approach. If you want to put it inside a particular module directory, there is also another approach. Choose that suits best for you and your like test. Okay, so that's about products and customers. That's good. We have created the models, and then inside the products, we have break it down into multiple things. So products, now we have created three functions here. One for the get all products, one for the insert product or create product, and one other for the get product by ID. So we created three functions there, and then we created three routes as well. So I created individual routes per module, and then I created one common route that we'll call the individual module routes. So it's a kind of like layer. That means we have the flexibility to define the routes inside the products into this routes folder, and then the main route will call those individual products or individual module routes. For example, we have products. If we have something like customers, then it will have like customers or setup routes. It will call all this kind of all the routes will be called into the main route go route, so that we have a separation and we can define which route is doing what. Okay. So inside the products, we have routes folder where we are defining the routes with like we can define here like the method get. Yeah, ideally, it's better to have same products and then also products, and then we have get by ID, something like this. So we define the method get post, and then define the routing area. And then if we have like products and then define something here, that should be also fine. I guess fine. So we have products find all, products get by ID, and then we have find all, create get by ID. Okay, we have created three routes here. Each route is calling a particular function, and if I go to the services, inside the if you go to the main dot Go file, here we have defined the functions, get all products, get by products ID, and get create product. So these three functions we are calling. Okay. Now I created another file, which is I'm calling service.go. So it's a service file where I'm defining the database query and ORM operations over there. So for example, get all products. This is in my, it's think of it like a controller. This is my controller file where I'm fetching the data from the service. So I defined get all products from DB inside my services file. Here you are I'm connecting to the database, and then I'm calling the database operations using ORM, and then we are returning the products. Then we have get product by ID. So similar thing, we initialize the connection, and then we're finding the product, and then return the product. And then again, we have another one, get create product from in database. This is actually we are passing the data into the JSON format and then inserting the data into the database. That's it. These are the three things we are doing in the service file. Okay, these three functions are all same. They are calling the service files to get data and then send it to the routes that they are actually calling. And then that route will then return to the main route. Main route will call to the main Go file. So there is the key thing. Another file I created for helper. This is just to render the data into JSON format. So this is, I think I'm going to push it into a kind of a like generic helper file. Like if we have some sort of not products, but if you click here, like shared, this is kind of like shared thing. So I can helpers.go, and then we have define package shared. And we can just try to copy this, right? Okay. Okay, and we're just going to call it into our main.go. Sorry, service.go. So rather than using this local helper file, just going to delete it. I'm going to put it inside the share. That means all other modules can actually share it, right? So the SRC shared, and then we have shared.render.json, right? Oh, sorry. Share undefined. Okay, let's see this here. Undefined share.json. Okay, as it's a Golang's convention, if you are using a package, then the function name should start with capital letter. So that's the mistake I made. That's why you need to be render JSON. And then if I now go to the main.go, and if I say share.render JSON, the error is gone. Okay. So that being said, I think this looks good. So what we did, we minimized the products like file structure. We moved the helper from the products to the shared helper, so that all other modules that you are going to build will take the advantage of it. Okay, now let's run it, right? So go run main.go. So I'm just running it locally, and then it's the same. If we are running with Docker, it will be also exactly the same. Now, let's see something. Maybe I disable my. Antivirus for a moment. Okay, now let's see. What about the routes we had to kind of like review again? So we had one route for products find all right. So let's go to localhost. Yeah, here it is. If I do pretty print, then I see I haven't had previously 3 items there. Then the items are rendered with descending order of ID and then ID, name, description, price like this. Now let's try to find a single product. If I wanted to find a single product, similar localhost. And then I need to pass t equals 3, right? So it is returning the 3. Go to ID equals 1. It will send me 1. Okay, so I tested these 2 routes. Now test the insert route, right? I'm just going to use my postman to make a post request. And first, let's check the route. So it's products.create. And in your product S. And let's give it a name, different name, article. It's 199. Let's try to run it. Yeah, data inserted. Let's go to the list view. Here we can see the product ID 4. We can view it inside this get single product. This is ID 4. And we can actually see here as well. So these are the, I think, part 2 of my tutorial where I created some database CRUD operations, like you can create, read, fetch, all those things. I forget to add the delete. I will add the delete as well, and then push to my GitHub repository. So all these codes are available in the GitHub repository. If you wanted to learn more on Golang, then try to replicate this repository or clone it, and then you can use it to test purposes. So I'm not professional Golang developer. I'm just learning the Golang and also at the same time sharing the my thoughts. How would I create a web application using Golang, and how should all this work with PostgreSQL database. The ORM that I'm using here, it's calling GoORM, and it has support for Lite, SQLite, Postgres, and also I think MySQL as well. Okay, so that's being said, that's for today. I hope this video helps you to learn Golang and use it as a REST API provider for your project. And if you face any difficulties, ask your questions in the video comment. I will try to answer. Thank you. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.